Hi guys, good morning. So yesterday we did the um, hour-long video on start to finish makeup, concentrating on getting the concealing under eye problems. If you're a little older, we tend to be a little puffier. We have wrinkles to deal with and stuff like that. So I went over some of the tips that I use that won't break the bank and don't send you to a skin doctor. So one of my tricks, of course, is always hemorrhoid cream. That'll help depuff you in the mornings. Um, it's tissue wherever you're swelling at. It's what it does. It's what its job is. The other thing is making sure you have plenty of moisture on your face. So I mentioned I'm a little drier as I'm aging, so I don't wash with soap in the mornings or face cleansers. I do use my toner. I use a dewy toner. I still go through my other steps. I put on moisturizer. I put on my sunscreen. I do all of those things. I just skip that facial cleanser step unless I have like something, if I miss something the night before. And then I mentioned I double wash at night. And that's sort of true and sort of not true. So what I mean by double washing for me, I still use cold cream. I wear a lot of eye makeup. I wear false eyelashes. And so that helps break all that down without me pulling at my skin a ton. I just put on a nice thick layer and then I just wipe it off, and then I just use my daily cleanser. Use whatever you want. I use a foam cleanser. I don't know, use whatever you want. Mine's like coconut oil and stuff. So I do that. I just try to keep as much moisture in my face as I possibly can. So I use L'Oreal Advanced Firming. Has SPF in it. Just about everything I use. And then I make sure that I use a primer for aging skin to help with that. It adds a little bit of moisture back into my skin. I use eye primer from Photo Focus. That helps. I rub a little bit under where my eyeliner and stuff is going to go. So all of those things give you that nice plumpy look. It'll help fill out those lines that are developing, those fine lines and deeper lines if you're like me and heading into your 60s or close to your 60s, 50s and 60s, then ours get a little bit deeper. There's nothing you can do about it. Roadmap of your life all over your face. So as you can see, I've already put on most of my makeup. I've got my highlighters on. Or not my highlighters. I got my contour on. I've got my blush on. I've got my eye makeup on. I don't have my lashes on. I've done my eyebrows. I've done everything else pretty much because I want to focus on this part. So you need 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone for concealing really dark circles. So there is, if you have really black, dark circles under your eyes, really deep discolorization. I don't really have that. I just look tired. But if you have that, there's white concealer. And you can absolutely make that work. I would actually apply that before I applied my foundation if I was using white to help get that more blended into your skin. But this one is, the one I've been using lately is by e.l.f. And it's their 16-hour camo concealer matte finish. This is in the color light sand, so it's significantly lighter than my skin tone. You do not need a 10, y'all. So dot, dot, dot. Same thing over here. Just, this thing has a big old doe foot, y'all. So you really don't need a lot. I let mine sit for a little while. I let it thicken up a little. It's a little harder to move around. Get your sponge moist, squeeze it out really good. It'll help it move a little better. But you really do want it to be a little thicker. You want it to stay where you put it. And so just going to let that I normally, when I'm doing this part, I'm normally doing like my entire contour look with my lighter. So I'm doing my nose, I'm doing my forehead, I'm doing my chin. I've kind of already done those, so I'm not doing them today to shorten this up. So my online live on Facebook was kind of crazy yesterday. Most times they get kind of crazy anyways. So I'm staying away. You can see I'm staying away from my eyeliner, but if you get up in there, you can always realign your eyes. You're the only one who's going to know you did. But, you know, try not to touch it. Like, I have brown eyeliner. I don't want to drag that down into where I'm trying to hide dark circles. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to just take it out here to my temple area, because you do want this nice lift from the lighter color. It gives your eyes a lovely lift, plus it helps, I think, clean up that area a little if you had any, you know, a little drop down or whatever. You can get your line a little tighter if you want, your eyeliner line a little tighter. And you can see I work this pretty far up, like right up to the base of my eyebrows. I want this to stay put. I mean, that's just, it's what you want. And the problem with that is, if you're younger, you can just stick a ton of powder in it. You can, you know, powder it and bake it. You can do all these things. We can't. Because if we do, we risk accentuating any fine lines. But we have to have some bit of setting powder under there. And so, to not get your concealer to settle and start creasing into those lines, I still use my sponge. You can use a different sponge if you want, but this one's, I mean, it's just one I use. I have a ton of them, so. I mentioned I have this LA Colors contour palette that I really like. Anastasia powder is super good. I had some. I used it all yesterday. I could go buy more. But any powder really is going to work in this scenario. You want to get closer to your skin color. So this doesn't have a ton of options. I mean, it has a lot of options, but you can see, like, none of these are really, really my skin tone. So I will blend a couple. Like, I'll just dab this in here to get some powder on my sponge. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to set this. I want it just a tad bit lighter than my skin color. Not significant, but just a tad bit lighter. We're starting to make that color work with our skin color. And if you get a little excess in there, you can brush it out. You know, just take a nice fluffy brush and just brush it out a little. Not hard, you just kind of want to tap it off. I let mine set just for a little bit, not a ton of time. And this is, I mentioned I got this Dewy Glow spray from Catrice for free. At Christmas time, I bought that Self-Made Bae palette that they have. I love this thing. You know, I love Catrice's eyeshadows. I just really do. This, I've kind of struggled with their dewy spray, but I have found uses for it. I don't find it a great overall for me. I think it'll work for most people if you don't have super dry skin. I have really dry skin, so I've actually just found that, like, Ulta's brand of dewy face spray, setting spray, works best for me. So I buy that a lot, but it's free, and if I can make it work, I want to make it work. So I did find it works really well for this. So what I want to do is melt this powder just a bit into this area. I want it to blend in and look like my skin and not a bunch of powder sitting on my face. So anything excess I have, I'm going to brush off very lightly. And then I'm going to take my spray very carefully and spray pretty far away from your face, but right in that area. I want it to melt this all in together. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And I'm just going to let it dry. I'm pretty shiny because I'm pretty dewy. Everything in my world is dewy, which is good. I mean, be a little shiny. Makes you look a little younger. Because I put, like, I told you I'm not huge of glitter and stuff, but I always put some up in my arch line. I told y'all that because it kind of gives you a little facelift, which is lovely. Good genetics helps, y'all. I mean, good genetics helps. It just does. And I'm not adverse to going to skin doctors. I'm not adverse to having fillers put in. Seriously, I had an aunt who had a facelift in her 50s or 60s. She totally looks amazing. If I could afford it, I'd do it. We all know I would. So then I just take what's left on here. If I have anything I need to kind of clean up. I'm not getting anything new, y'all. I'm just trying to clean up anything that may have not set perfectly or to my expectation anyways. And that's it. My eye concealer is done. I'll just finish off with my full-on powder set. And I do a super light one, y'all. I do not do much because I really want, and then I finish with my all-over face spray. I really wish I had my loose powder. Loose powder to me just works better for this because I can tap off so much where it's harder when they're set in these, when they're dry. I mean, they work. I'm gonna say they don't. I just spend more time tapping off, so, because you really don't want a lot. I just really want everything to stay in place and not wiggle around on me. I wear my makeup morning, noon, and night. Like that. I had a big huge mistake. Did you see that? It's still too wet. Some of that's because I line my inner water line now. And it's actual coal from the, I could mention that, it's actual coal, and it smears y'all. If I'm not careful with it, and today I wasn't careful with it. And I just sprayed some of that Catrice setting spray onto my sponge to re-moisten it, to clean that up. You could use a Q-tip. I have a ton of those up there. I use them all the time. See anything that messed up, I just go back in and fix. And then I'll just do the same thing over again. I'll just reset it. It happens, y'all. Mistakes happen all the time. And I'm not a professional. I told you that. I just like playing with makeup. Alright, so that's done. So get off here and I will put on my false lashes and my mascara and all of those lovely things and do my hair and be set. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.